it should be going live. So, Stu, what games were you looking forward to this year?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Was there anything else, or just that?
it's just literally that now.
I was gonna say, because, like, I don't think I've ever had this situation before, because obviously I can't do anything, so that's kind of slimmed it down a little bit. Like, I'm kind of worried on Cyberpunk, but the thing is, the only other thing apart from Final Fantasy that I'm waiting on is one of the new Gundam games. That
Hmm.
it's basically just like, like a beat 'em up. Hey
Oh
Blazing.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's basically like a Gundam beat 'em up, and it looks pretty interesting. I hope my hands are better for it by then. But yeah, Cyberpunk looks okay, but I'm still kind of worried for it, because of current climate of video games and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like, because I've never played The Witcher or anything. It's like sacrilege to some people, but I don't know much about CD Projekt Red, so I can't really turn around and be like, oh, I'm totally hyped for it. But but yeah, the last thing that I was really hyped for was Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was the same. I think, yeah, remake. I thought it was pretty fun. Yeah, enjoyed that.
Like I still need to do a walk back video with Jen at some point about Final Fantasy because I need to go over the Tifa's design again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because a load of people are still commenting on that video and being like, "Oh, the one on the right's sexist or whatever," and it's like, okay, it was a picture that I got off Chan that was like quickly thrown together to kind of show a brief idea of what Tifa would look like, but obviously the person that's done it has done some really stupid stuff like that we talked about on stream, like deliberately shortening the skirt like way too short and stuff. But yeah, the thing is I need to do that video again. Or rather I need to go over that. But the last thing I was really hyped for was Final Fantasy. And to be honest, I don't think now there's much to get hyped about. Oh.
I think with the last two, yeah, it was yeah, remake and Doom Eternal because I thought Doom Eternal was quite fun.
And for some people,
Um,
Animal Crossing, if you were into that.
yeah,
Oh,
I downloaded that the other day off the eShop. I had some funds, so
I'm
I got
actually
that.
wrong about my own statement here already.
What's up?
I was hyped, and I still am kind of hyped. I can't play it, but Streets of Rage, I still need to get that.
What's that? Sorry.
Streets of Rage, the new one.
Oh, the new one. Yeah,
Yeah, because it was released on the 30th, and I've been looking for that for ages. Like watching the behind the scenes dev.
yeah.
Um, that's like the only other thing apart from Final Fantasy that I was really, really hyped for. Because I remember saying to you, I wasn't particularly a big fan of Doom Eternal, but I remember saying this to people before it had even come out, like with that first trailer, where I was like, yeah, sure, it kind of looks neat with the whole new mechanics and everything, but the first time they show off the blade in the videos, I'm like, huh, and my head's thinking to myself, why does he need a blade when he's got his bare fists? And then you've got like the cannon on his shoulder. That I thought was pretty weird. And I'm like, they making Doomslayer Predator or something here? He's got an arm blade and he's got a shoulder mounted cannon. And then the videos come out where it's like, oh, we got all these new mechanics and we got all these enemy weak points and all these tutorials and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, go back to Doom 2016 and look at how little cutscenes there were in that, how little tutorials there were in that, and the fact that it's just Doom guy gets some guns and rips things apart with his bare hands because he doesn't need anything else but that, really. I still don't quite like the idea of Eternal and its new mechanics and everything. It's like I said, I've not played it, but just based on the videos, that I've seen and people's gameplay and stuff, and just comparing it to what we know of 2016, I think 2016 does the whole narrative thing a little bit better because it's not forced in your face with like a billion cutscenes that the Doomslayer going off the 2016 reboot would just not stick around for. You know?
But no, it was fun. It kind of did get overwhelming with the amount of things what was in it, like frag grenades, the glory kills. But I think that's where you're coming from with the arm blade.
I feel like when people hit the nail on the head and they say it's overly complicated, the new battle system, it's like I don't have to play it to clearly see that it seems overly complicated. It's like how much can we throw at the player and just see how they react? It's like, don't get me wrong, some of these high-level play videos online that I've been watching, like binge-watching while I've got no hands, those are fantastic. And that video that I showed you the other day, where the speedrunning one, where it's like you just press the middle mouse wheel, and just let it fly and go jumping over like half the game's levels. That was so funny. But yeah, I don't know why they put the multiplayer in either of them, and I just feel like, based off all the gameplay footage and everything that I've seen, 2016 just feels a little bit more like Doom, should be, rather, because you always hear, like, what was it, Carmack and I should remember his name. It's out of my head for a moment. They always say like the story for Doom is like having story in a porn. It's just not meant to be there, And that's what 2016 felt like. Not a porn. 2016 felt like the story didn't need to be there. It was in the background. You could get indulged in that, but it wasn't a main thing. A bit like with, like, they did the same with Halo. They ruined Halo by throwing all that stuff, like, in the forefront and being like, oh, lore guys are going to love this for Halo 4 and 5. And when 5 came around, it's like, nobody give a crap. Sin says, I feel like 2016 is better overall. I'm just going off videos and stuff, but the only other thing that had me kind of excited was watching people play Half-Life Alyx this year.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of people what was streaming it. It looked alright. It was VR, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't agree with people's statements of, oh, you can't play this in anything but VR. It's like, well, they've done that because Valve like messing around with technology and everything. But for those people that are like, oh, it's going to be terrible in VR, you should just get VR because it's amazing. And the people that don't have VR are just hating on it or don't have money. It's like, no, you're being completely ignorant and just forgetting the people that can't play VR because of sickness or whatever, I hate that one. I think it was like Valve News Network that literally did a video that was like that, where it's like, oh, if you don't like VR, then don't bother even thinking about Half-Life Alyx because it's just not going to work outside of VR. It's like, well, okay, I guess I'm just not playing it then, and I'm just going to watch videos instead, I think that was a bit stupid to just label everybody who couldn't play it or wanted to play it without VR as, people that just hate it or whatever. Or it'll water down the experience completely. It's like, how can you know without trying it? I can understand, like, with the knuckles and everything, they're designed for a specific task in VR. But, I mean, I still think that comment itself is stupid. Sin says, not gonna lie, me kind of regret spending $60 on Doom. I mean, if we're gonna go into regrets this year, Resi 3.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't play Resi 3.
Dude, when all this lockdown stuff is over and everything, I'm gonna have to let you come round and play the classic one, because classic Resi 3.
I never played the original.
Yeah, classic Resi 3 looks so good compared to the remake. But yeah, no, just think about it, right? There's only like a couple of games we've both really been hyped for this year. Now go back, years. Like I'm gonna say go back to 2002. From then,
Yeah.
this sounds stupid, right? But from round about that time period, because this is roughly like two or 3 years before we met, right?
Yeah.
Think about how many games we collectively got hyped for over the years, and then compare it with current years.
Well, funnily enough, the my 360 collection was mainly like from like what are we going to play together? What story games are going to play? And there
Yeah,
was quite a
co-op.
lot of games. Yeah, there was quite a lot of games I was kind of what's the word, hyped for on the
Dude,
360, and most of them were really good.
when it got to the 360 era, it was insane. Like the GameCube era, that was cool. Like
And GameCube, yeah,
the GameCube, PlayStation, and Xbox, the those three, those were
yeah,
fantastic for games that you get hyped up about. Like for instance, I remember being totally hyped for like PSO coming out, and then I remember Sonic Adventure being re-released on GameCube, and I was hyped for that. I remember going out like day one and
yeah.
getting it. Um, then on the original Xbox, you and me getting Halo 2 on launch. Like I've never been so hyped. Actually, tell a lie. I've been hyped for just as much for other Halo titles, but then after that, you had like the Final Fantasy titles that people would get hyped for. Grand Theft Auto. I remember a ton of people hyping up Vice City when that was coming out, and it was in every magazine.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Um, I remember getting really hyped up for Burnout 3, getting that, coming back, but not going home. Instead, I went to a net cafe, went in the back of the net cafe, turned the TV on, and spent like the entire day in a net cafe playing Burnout with a bunch of guys that I knew, with the TV on so loud that I got told off at one point because it was so loud that you couldn't hear anything else. you know.
Burnout was amazing.
But yeah, compare that. Then we go into the 360 PS3 era where you get hyped for so many games. You've got like sequels to games like God of War, Final Fantasy again. Like, I remember everybody being hyped for FF13 before it was eventually released.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I was really looking forward to that as well.
you had Halo 3, Gears, like all the Gears games, especially the third one. That third one was fantastic for the co-op that it had on it. The horde mode, the
Yeah,
extra horde mode, and all the stuff that it
I
brought to it.
I enjoyed all three of them. They were actually, yeah, really nice.
Um,
Really nice games. Yeah.
there was crazier stuff that we played, like Aliens versus Predator. I wasn't overly hyped for that, but I remember getting excited.
It was fun with all of us playing it.
Um, there was stuff like Bad Company 2. I remember getting hyped
Yeah.
for that because Sean hyped that up for me. Here's one that you'll agree with: Bayonetta.
That was one of my favorites.
I remember getting absolutely hyped for Bayonetta and then being like, right, I got to get this
When
day one, and then next minute it's like, this is crazy.
I think it was the first week. It was two of my Darksiders and Bayonetta came out the same week,
It was
and
like
I loved
February or something, was it? Like February 2011 or around there?
around that time. Yeah, and yeah, both of them amazing.
Because I remember getting, I, it might not have been like right next to each other, but it was pretty close. I remember getting something like Bad Company, Bayonetta, and AVP in the space of about 2 months at most. And I was like, oh my god, what the hell? I'm getting so many games here. We ended up with like massive libraries. Hey, Momo. Hey, Sin says, I heard RE3 was just disappointing. Yeah. Majority of video games now are just lifeless garbage. No one wants to innovate. Or we see a graphical improvement and microtransactions, says Sin. That's about right. But yet, no, what I'm trying to get at is, like, compare all the releases we've been hyped at and how much, like, yours and my collection in terms of 360 games and Sean's were absolutely stupid. I should have got Sean in for this conversation. I'll have to do it some other time. But he'll probably agree, because I remember he was doing charity work over the other side of the world at the time. And he comes back, and no joke, in his library, he had a back catalogue of like 20 games.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Because he came back and he was like, dude, I just found them all on my doorstep. Because I remember being like, what? He's like, yeah, they were all just there on the doorstep, still in the boxes and stuff. And I was like, what? But
It was your collection and Jen's collection. What was like shocked to me? I was like, wow, this is amazing.
We still have so many 360 games that when we put them on the shelves, we actually have to. I think it's double or triple stack the 360 shelf because we have that many 360 games. um, but yeah, no. When you compare the hype for some of the games that we've played and just the amount of releases that we've bought. Like I remember there was a couple of years between I think it was about 2010 to 2013 where we were non-stop buying games almost like every couple of months and I was like, dude, seriously, I've got no money here. I
Yeah,
was like, somebody needs to calm down because I need some money. Hey everyone, we're just talking about game releases. But yeah, I remember saying like, I have no money. I keep buying games. No, compare it to now where I'm like, I have excess amounts of money that I don't mind, and there's like hardly any games coming out, and it's just like I'm turning to indie stuff because indie stuff is better than actual stuff that's released now. You know.
I know. Because of well, the current pandemic, what's going about. I know like releases are going to be either delayed or
DG cells. That's
yeah.
what they're known as. Because I got to show you it in G Gundam. There's a very similar thing, but it's known as DG cells. So I've been getting around Susan's overly protective YouTube watchful eyes by just mentioning DG cells instead of mentioning any keywords like certain country names and stuff.
It, yeah, it's like you said, like there's only really Cyberpunk I've been looking forward to this year. I did get Animal Crossing. That's kind of nice and relaxing. But
last
other than
year,
that,
last year, can you remember what games you got or what you were really hyped
um,
for last year's releases?
last year, uh, trying to
Because I can't. Honest to God, if I was hyped for something.
well,
Oh wait, no.
there was
Maybe
there was Devil May Cry 5. I really enjoyed that.
I I tell a lie. It might have been Resi 2 and Spyro.
Yeah,
If
Spyro.
if
Spyro was really fun.
if they were both 2019 titles, because I remember shilling for Spyro like crazy. Um, Resi
It
2
was
definitely, and Spyro definitely, but having a hard time thinking of anything else that I went totally hype for. Oh,
I got hyped for Death Stranding and I wasn't
oh
like
yeah.
disappointed. That was a really fun game as well.
I still need to complete that when my hands are better.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
So, no. just so anybody else knows what's going on here, we're going over comparisons between like everything from say round about the early 2000s to now, and going over how many releases there have been or have not been, how many games we've bought in the past up until now, and whether we're hyped for anything at this point, because it seems like the hype train has just slowly died over the years. You know, like we were saying, round about the 360 era, there was a point where we were left with no money, but tons of games, and now it's the complete opposite, because there's hardly any games that we actually enjoy. Uh, seriously, it's like, if they just turn around now and be like, okay, Bad Company 3, no microtransactions. We finally figured out what made Bad Company 2 good. We're going to just do exactly the same, and we're just going to tack on a story with the same characters, and it's all going to be about the multiplayer, and you're still going to have the same destructibility. It's just going to be slightly different graphics, as in they're going to be slightly improved. I'd be fine with that. Or just re-release Bad Company 2, but don't put microtransactions in it. No.
Like a remaster.
Honestly, that is the only way you could get me hyped for any title at this point. Or if they did a perfect remaster of Burnout 3. And by perfect, I mean like they actually went in and spent all that money getting the same song licenses. You know.
That that'll be fun. That'll be game of the century.
Or, or, um, and I want this. Put
Outrun.
no. Put the original Sonic Adventure on the Switch.
Oh
It's
yes.
been on everything else. I want a portable version now.
There was
Oh.
well, they were talking about all the all the Mario galaxies might be coming to the Switch. Why not
Ooh.
Sonic as well? That'd be quite nice.
Seriously, they have no reason not to port that. Because Sonic Adventure's been on every other platform, basically. Just give me it on a portable console so I can turn around and play it on the go. Sin says, really hyped for Halo Infinite. I put that quote because I'm really hoping it's good. I mean, I would say I'm hyped for it, but after Halo 5, my excitement is tempered. And I'm pretty pessimistic about it. I'm not totally confident in 343. It's like I'm looking at all those videos that they're putting out saying, oh, we're doing sound effects. It's like, yeah, it's okay doing sound effects and everything and showing off how good the engine is graphically, but you show nothing of the story. And if you don't retcon absolutely everything that you've messed up, there's going to be no point. They're probably going to go ahead with the microtransaction thing still, even though nobody likes it. They're going to throw skins in there just to get some money off players. Honestly, at this point, it's safe to say that when I once had faith in Halo, it's just not there anymore. It more or less died with Halo 5. Like, Halo 4, I didn't mind that. Wasn't too bad. Still weird with all the COD elements that they put in it. Halo 5 is like, nah, we're going full Black Ops 3 here. It's like, nope. And the story was terrible. That's like we were watching before, Stu, when we were watching those videos before the stream. The one where we were watching the one of the fan bases that got completely destroyed recently by a company messing up. It's exactly the same. It's like
I don't know. We've not seen much about Infinite, have we? There's no gameplay footage or anything yet.
We haven't seen anything of it yet, but based on how 343 are, if they don't learn from their current mistakes, they are dead as a company. Like, nobody will buy anything Halo from them ever again, and I think they know that. It's like, the worst part, though, is when you can see videos, like, by Kroby Cat, where it shows, like, 343 versus Bungie, and it's not like Bungie were gods. They started messing up at Reach. I really think Reach was a big step back, because they started giving everybody the ability system, which was really weird. Multiplayer-wise, anyway, because you saw how many people abused armor lock and stuff like that. Some of the gameplay balances were weird, but I
enjoyed the campaign.
The campaign was great. The gripes I have with it is when it started doing all that extra mobility stuff. It's like, oh, we got to keep up with current times. We got to start throwing in stuff from other video games. They had it at a point in Halo 3 where it was at the peak of its game. You could control every area pretty well on the map as long as you had the power weapons and your teammates were coordinating well enough. That was great. That was perfect in terms of balancing. And then they go ahead and mess it all up completely. And the worst part about it is, like I was saying, the videos from Kroby Cat, where it shows like 343 versus Bungie. And everything that Bungie says, where they're like, we didn't bother making the Chief a character because it wasn't about how human he is or whatever. And then you show 343 turning around and being like, oh, so the new story is about how Chief is as a human. It's like, no, please. You're doing everything wrong that they said you shouldn't do because nobody gives a damn, or because it's going to be either too cliche or it's going to be terrible, where they're like, oh, halfway through in the original commentary for Halo, when you go to the control room and they're like, yeah, we were going to make Cortana the bad guy, but then we decided not to because that's cliche. Come Halo 5, it happens, and I was just like, no. It's like they don't learn from their own mistakes. No. Kroby Cat's overrated, says Heavy. Sin says the only thing that's got me scared so far is the Battle Royale rumours. Oh no. They go Battle Royale on me and that's it, I'm out. But yeah, no, the whole point for the Kroby Cat video was to point out the fact that everything that Bungie said don't do because the fans aren't going to like it, they've done, and it's as a result, it's got them to this point now where everyone's like, look, this is your last attempt. If it's not an absolute banger coming out the gates, then that's it. We're not going to bother anymore. And the problem is that Halo is what sells the Xbox, or a lot of Xboxes, and Microsoft knows it. It's why they keep pushing it over and over and over again. It's like their flagship title. And I think that's partially why the Xbox One failed, not just because they tried to do, the entire thing as a multimedia machine, but because of the simple fact of Halo 5 failed miserably, so the console failed as a result. If it was a good title, you'd see it being shipped with the console more often than not. You'd see people buying it in droves. They'd be playing it on multiplayer still. Multiplayer ended up being focused on the hardcore elite players, like the pro scene. The amount of times that they say, like, pro players in those videos where they're like, oh, the pro players are going to be doing this, or we're doing 4v4 because pro teams and stuff, and it's like, seriously, are you not thinking of just the casual player that you're actually supposed to be building this game for? The thing that I liked about the older games was that you could be a casual player and have fun. Yeah. But there was that skill gap if you learned more of the layouts of the levels, if you learned when to do like certain things like certain trick jumps, if you knew how to use the weapons or the power-ups to the best of their abilities. When it comes down to it, it's Halo 3 was that thing of you can control areas by grabbing power weapons, grabbing abilities. No, sorry, not grabbing abilities, grabbing power-ups like the overshield and stuff, and holding down areas and making sure the enemy team doesn't get those areas. Specifically, it might be something like a hammer spawn or a rocket spawn. And it feels good because, like, for instance, Epitaph is a good example. You have the hammer in the top, in the middle. You have the two side routes that have things like plasma rifles and spikers, and I think the odd mauler. There's a shotgun just on the lower section over the opposite side of the level to the brute shot, I think it is. I think there's a brute shot on that level. Or there's a needler near the main grav lift. And then in the center, next to the hammer, I think there's a rocket launcher, and there's a plasma rifle, an invisibility or an overshield, and then top middle on one of the ends there's a bubble shield. And the best part about it is you can go to the center, grab the rocket launcher or the hammer, run straight for mid top, get the bubble shield, and then throw down there, and then as long as you've got another guy with a shotgun, you can hold that area down and no one can touch you. And it's an example of, like, really good gameplay in terms of being able to hold down an area and have the enemy try and storm that area and see what they can do, like whether they throw grenades into your bubble shield or whatnot. That was really cool, and it worked. Because you weren't totally overpowered. If someone runs in with another power weapon or with a couple of grenades, you could get wrecked completely. But when it comes to, like, the more higher advanced stuff in, like, Halo 5, where they're on about clambering and more mobility stuff that makes it play more like COD, and where you have perks and killing sprees, it's like, wait, what? I prefer it when everybody has the same skill level,
Yeah, then it's all equal then, isn't it?
I should say, actually, not so much skill level. I preferred it when everybody had the same starting loadout. So like you have a pistol and an assault rifle as a starting loadout.
Yeah.
Not like Halo 2 where you have a battle rifle for a starting loadout and then it's just 5 shots or 3 shots to the head and you're dead.
Just magnums.
Hey everyone that's turning up. But yeah, no, back to the conversation, like, I don't think I'm hyped about Halo Infinite at all. I liked speculating about the videos that they released at E3 and stuff, and sure enough, yeah, I was hyped to see that Halo might be back, especially considering I was like, they wait a couple of years and they do it right, and it might get better reception. But I think just that amount of negativity that I've had over the past couple of games is really tempering that. So there's a major lack of hype in games at the moment. It's like, can you even remember what was on E3 that was meant to come out? like from last
Um,
year.
from last year.
Yeah, because they completely forgone this year. They cancelled it, if I remember rightly. Not just because of the DG cells, but it's because of other stuff. Wasn't there an announcement saying they're just not going to bother doing E3?
I'm not sure what they're all doing. I think they might be doing what similar to what Nintendo does, like a direct. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. Reach where everybody has a DMR as a starting loadout says heavy. Oh god. But yeah, I feel sorry for when franchises go like that. Like when was the last time we enjoyed Forza? Because Heavy brought it up as part of the Xbox, the Xbox loadout. Forza, the last one we actually played that we found was fun. Was I think 4, wasn't it, on the 360?
The Forza Motorsport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might have had a little bit of fun with 5 on the Xbox One.
Yeah, that was good. Horizon was really fun.
Horizons was good, yeah.
I think I don't know if they'll bring another one of them out yet. We're not sure.
Well, two was kind of 3 was pretty damn good, and 4 was on the Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 and 3 was on the Xbox One, yeah.
Because 3 was free for a while ago. I got it on my console because I was like, oh, we can get it for free now.
I think that's the one that had the Hot Wheels DLC.
Yeah. And then the one after that, the one that was in England, had Halo DLC and Lego DLC.
That's it, yeah. That was that was really fun, yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think. The only other thing that I was hyped up about was PSO coming to console finally.
Oh yeah, he was like, I remember like hearing your reaction on your.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, you did a stream and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna lose it.
The absolute mad lads. Seriously, after like 7 or 8 years or something, they're like, yeah, we'll finally release this thing. It's like, oh, on every console now, I think, because like they've had it on PS4 for a while and Vita, and then I think it's been on Switch for a little bit. I could be wrong about that, and then it's going to be cross-play on Windows and Xbox One, but we've already had it on PC for years. That reminds me, you need to get on that eventually. You need to update. You've not updated since about 2015. No joke either. Shifty face.
Shifty face.
Yeah, dude, you missed out on some crackers of events. Saying that though, I missed out on the Evangelion event. I'm trying to think of any new rumors for video games that they've been going around. There was one a while back for new GTA's in development, but I didn't like GTA 5.
Yeah, I had some rumors about the new GTA. I'm not sure where it's set in though.
The last one I enjoyed was 4, and that sounds stupid because everybody, there was a general consensus that 4 was generally a bad thing, because it was either the single player or it was the car physics. The multiplayer, it was an absolute banger.
Yeah, I remember us all being on there. That was actually quite fun. Yeah, being in the hospital just.
It was either messing around with the police AI and getting to 6 stars, getting a load of crazy weapons and armor, then going to the hospital on, I think it was the far left island near the top of the map, and just bunkering down and seeing who was last one standing against the AI, or when we were actually playing proper multiplayer on it. Like, me and Sean had a great blast on that. I don't know what happened with 5. Like, 5's multiplayer was weird. They took forever to fix all the servers on launch, because it was an absolute mess. Then you had the whole deal with the, what was it? Not the gangs thing, but there was the clan system, wasn't it, or something, where you could go around as groups. You could start like your own. Yeah, I think it might have been gangs.
Heists.
Yeah, that was it. The heists.
Yeah.
Took forever to It took like an extra year to get heists going. Well, by that time, I got bored and dropped off. It was just like, whatever.
I know there's quite a few people still play it, don't they? Right, like you, I didn't really get into it.
I would have got into it more if they'd have released content sooner. But yeah, they were too busy doing other stuff. I mean, they had Red Dead launch, like you said, but I've never been one for the Wild West theme, especially like Red Dead 1 just rubbed me off the wrong way with the voice actors, because like the first 10 minutes, that southern accent, I think it's like a southern accent, just the accents of the characters just did my head in. I was like, nah, I'm out. Plus, I was messing around on the multiplayer was enough for me. I'm sorry that your horse became a unicorn so many times.
I had quite a few horses, and then the next minute I didn't have any.
The funniest one for me was when you didn't play for like a week, and then you come back on, and we go to Cougar Country on Red Dead 1. We shack up in the that one lone shack that's surrounded by AI cougars, and you run past on a horse because you're towing the back, you're behind everybody else, and all I hear is, Dave, I can't remember how to get off the horse, and you're being chased by like 40 cougars. That was absolutely hilarious. And then to make it even worse, I threw a knife at the horse. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like, bang, he's down, he's dead. It's like, Stu died. I was like, oops. Oh, I'm sorry, Stu. Oh, that had me in hysterics. That though.
The campaign on the second one's really good.
Didn't you say a while ago you were waiting on Crackdown 3 and then that turned out to be crap?
It's Crackdown 3. I was waiting for a while for it. It's fun, but it's just there's not a lot to do in it. I mean, it's like if you play it for a couple of hours, then after that, it's like, well, I'm kind of bored now.
New Intel agent.
New Intel agent.
Oh, seriously, the second game, I remember us having a ton of fun on the second game on co-op, especially with the exploding ducks.
Yeah.
Just leave them on like a vehicle or something, away you go.
One of them had the Halo beta as well.
It was Crackdown 1 had the Halo 3 beta.
That was it, yeah.
I remember because like everyone and the mum had that apart from me. Because I never took part in that.
Yeah, it had the little sticker on the cover.
I think that's why it sold so well, because everyone was like, oh, Halo, you can like completely start for Halo for like 3 years, and then next minute it's like, yeah, we're getting a public beta away with Crackdown, and then next minute everyone's like, oh, Crackdown! I think Microsoft mustn't have had much faith in Crackdown on its own as a product, so like, oh, we'll just ship the Halo 3 beta with Crackdown. GTA Online has become such a vapid, shark card hungry, unbalanced mess. It's a shame. There's a lot of good stuff that's been added to it, says Heavy. Crackdown 2 brings me back, says Sim. Yeah, we had some.
Yeah, Crackdown 2 was really fun.
We had some fun. I'd say that time period where we had the most fun on the 360 has got to be between when Halo 3 was launched till I'm gonna say after 2013, because that was like the maximum length of time we had for like all those really good games to come out, because I swear after 2013 there wasn't much that we played, and it was more or less sort of just chilling out online on stuff.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that upsets me though, because like I remember on the 360 we'd even get hyped up about arcade games.
Yeah.
Remember when 1943 was going to come out, and the next minute, opening first day, the servers just died because EA were idiots and didn't expect that many people to play it.
That's when we had Microsoft points as well, and I think it was 1,200 points, and we got that, and the servers wasn't holding up, and then the next day it's like, yeah, we can play it.
Oh, that was so funny there. Just EA didn't plan for anything like usual. And the Scott Pilgrim game.
Oh yeah.
I remember because I've still got that on my Halo Reach Xbox. When this is all blown over, I need to get that out of storage and hook up my memory unit to it so I can actually play it again because of the way that the system works.
That was a good game, the Scott Pilgrim one.
That was, you know what? I'm still unhappy that they haven't released that. But like since apparently I think it's Brian Lee O'Malley, the actual creator of Scott Pilgrim, has been trying to get it off Ubisoft for years. You know, so you can launch it on Steam and stuff.
Yeah.
He's been trying to buy it off him because of stuff to do with the rights and crap like that. It's like, dude, seriously, just get it. Just Kickstarter it. Have everybody pay for it, and then just be like, Ubisoft, hands off. Go do some Assassin's Creed games or whatever. Just leave Scott Pilgrim alone so I can play it.
The music and everything, it's just amaze.
But yeah, no, I remember I used to get hyped for arcade games. I used to get hyped for stuff like when they released all the Sonic games, like they did Adventure 2. They did Sonic the Fighters, that was a weird one. They did all the classics. Like 1, 2, and 3. Then they did Afterburner. They did.
I was going to say Afterburner Climax. I want that on the current consoles.
Yeah, Outrun.
And that.
Like all those arcade ports were really damn good, and I was hyped every single time because you had I think it was Major Nelson was the guy that was announcing them, wasn't he?
It was, yeah. He had his own. I think he still has his own site where he just announced like what was coming out, and yeah, Afterburner Climax was one of my favourite ones. But I was hoping that it would come on the PS4 and the Xbox and everything.
Dude, they need more stuff like this to be backwards compatible because it's really annoying me. It's like they've got massive libraries that they can hook into. Instead, it's just like, no, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's like, come on. It's like it's lucky that I keep all these consoles that we've got and I hardly delete anything off them. You know.
You'll have to start like a retro arcade podcast or something like that.
Well, just talking about old games.
And then just show like this is this game, and it just shows you what you're playing.
I'm super happy that we've actually got Streets of Rage 4 now because like I've still got the file. Yeah. I found it on my my hard drives the other day. I've still got the remake of Streets of Rage for the PC that they actually got taken down eventually, where it has like all of the first 3 games piled into one thing that fans made, and it has all kinds of like crazy stuff that you could do in it that was really fun, and they took it down, you know, like another Metroid 2 remake, or I think it was another Metroid 2. Yeah. You know the one that got taken down by Nintendo.
Yeah, I think I know what you're on about, yeah.
I've got that file as well. On backup. It's like I've got a load of stuff on backup that that has been taken down since, and you think like, why don't they just release this stuff? Like they hire like people like to work on stuff like Sonic Mania or whatever. Oh, tell like that's one that I've been hyped about before was when Sonic Mania was coming out.
Yeah, and that's another game I really enjoy.
In the last, I'd say 5 years, that's the one game where I feel like I've been so hyped up so much. I think it was the last 5 years anyway. That's the one game where I've been hyped up so much about it. I actually felt like I was a kid again.
See that? Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah, they hire people for stuff like that. And I wish they'd do the same thing with like all these other fan remakes where they spend years doing stuff. And it's like, you can tell they love the games that they're remaking. They just want to add a little bit more to it. And then everything will be, hunky-dory. And it'll be a cool little thing for fans to indulge in. And then instead it's like, no, I'm just going to take it down. And also we're going to copyright. Well, we're going to issue with the copyright things that you can't do it. And we're going to ask you to delete all the files off the internet. Hate that kind of stuff.
Mm.
just annoying. Do you have to go now anyway?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Right.
I'll call it there then, and I'll talk to you some other time, and I'll cancel the stream there. Anyway,
Thank you for the trip down memory lane.
that's no problem. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.